Is Lordstown motor stock still undervalued? What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the clothing line to prove that fact. New drops are coming soon. And today, I want to speak about Lordstown Motors. On the 9th of September, I released a video titled The Most Undervalued EV Stock, Lordstown Motors. And when I released that video, Lordstown Motors was at about $17 and some change. And we proceeded over the coming weeks to go all the way up above the $30 mark. We then proceeded to crash towards the $20 mark. And right now, we're sitting very close to $24 a share. Lordstown Motors is the second biggest position in my portfolio. So obviously, I have a large interest in the company. I mean, I interviewed the CEO of the company. If ever you do that, you probably have quite a bit of confidence in that company. And I've been getting the question asked an awful lot lately, is it still undervalued? Or is it still as good a value as I thought it was at one stage? And so today we're going to speak about that. We're not necessarily going to be covering the absolute basics of Lordstown Motors, but I want to speak about, our short-term catalysts. I want to speak about the pre-orders and what that could potentially translate to in real money, which could translate to market cap down the line. I want to speak about this company's short, medium, and long-term prospects. And ultimately, I just want to answer the question: is Lordstown motor stock a buy at current prices? So guys, right before we get into the video, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? It really helps me in the channel out. I really would appreciate you. If you're new around here, what are you waiting for, my friend? Hit that juicy red subscribe button. Join the family. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. And please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the company. Let me know if you're involved, how many shares you have, etc. With all that being said, boom, into the video. Now, I have been following this company since day one. Actually, I've been following the company before they went public, so before day one. Obviously, I found out about them through Workhorse, and I did my research, and I absolutely loved the look of this company, and it goes without saying that I have a lot of respect for the CEO, Steve Barnes. So, I mean, I actually initially bought at $11.80 a share, which is a price you can't even see on the stock market past the first day it went public. I bought very early on. Now, since then, I've bought a whole lot more. My cost basis is a lot higher, but I mean, I had faith in this company from day one. And I also was bold enough to call them the most undervalued electric vehicle stock when they were at about $17 a share. Now, let's speak about some of the reasons why straight off the bat, okay? Now, in my opinion, it genuinely is really easy to understand why. Pro forma implied equity value of the combined company is approximately $1.6 billion. So that was obviously back with their $10 per share pipe. So as of right now, we're sitting at about $24 a share. So I mean, we're still looking at a market cap of less than $4 billion post-merger. I say less than $4 billion as if it's not a big number. It's a massive number. So they'll have $675 million of cash to fund operations and growth once the merger goes through, okay? They're a $965 million EV company with a strong balance sheet. Now, at this stage, you should all be aware that Lordstown Motors has in excess of 40,000 pre-orders, and I expect that to go up very quickly over the coming months. Would not surprise me in any way whatsoever if by the end of the year we have somewhere between 60 and 70, if not even approaching 80,000 pre-orders. First thing to know, okay, expected price for the vehicle $45,000, but if you read down here, that is net of $7,500 in tax credits, so about $52,500 of revenue per truck sold. Now, it's important to now it's very important to understand at this stage that these are pre-orders, okay? And a lot of pre-orders get cancelled, no doubt about it, no denying that. Not all 40,000 of these will guaranteed go through. But the next thing to understand is the majority of these pre-orders are from fleets, okay? That is Lordstown Motors' primary target market, is fleets, okay? And fleets don't just order one truck at a time. They order hundreds and hundreds. So we are aware, okay, from the investor presentation that the average pre-order for these fleets have been 300 trucks a piece. So it's not just, 40,000 random people pre-ordering one of these trucks. It is predominantly fleets, so I do think a lot of them will be turned into actual sales. So I mean, in these pre-orders alone, we're looking at over $2 billion worth of revenue. And I already said that I think there is definitely a possibility that this gets doubled again by the end of the year, representing over $4 billion of potential revenue in pre-orders. They also own what I believe to be the third biggest plant in the US. Estimated annual vehicle capacity of 600,000 plus vehicles, okay? An estimated replacement value of $3 billion. That $3 billion for this plant alone should mean that this stock's price is higher, in my opinion. Never mind all of these pre-orders. So right off the bat, you don't have to be a genius to see that there is absolutely immense upside potential here. I mean, just look at the plant they have, aka their biggest asset. Look at the management team. Look at what Steve Barnes has done in the past. Look at the technology and the first to market advantage. Look at the amount of pre-orders they have and the fact that they increased it by 50% in only 5 weeks. And look at the fact that vehicle production isn't expected to happen until the last half of 2021. There's a lot more time for more pre-orders. A lot of potential. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? I think with the plant they have, the money they're going to raise, the fact that the stock price is going up quite quickly, they're going to have more capital to play with, which means, in turn, they're going to be able to grow even faster, and our shares should grow faster. Not much else needs to be said. Do I think they're a buy at $24 a share? 100% yes. I bought more this week. Do you want to know what price I bought at? I bought at $24.69. I am somebody who originally bought in at $11.80. I bought more than 100% above my first ever purchase price because I still believe, honestly, they are incredibly undervalued. The next thing I want to bring up, okay, is we just briefly spoke about this plant right here, one of the biggest plants in the US in regards to vehicles altogether. 600,000 plus estimated capacity. Now, one of the things that a lot of investors thought, myself included, that Lordstown Motors may do is rent out part of this factory. But it's not as easy as that, you know what I mean? Because in these factories there's a lot of robots, okay? And the robots do the heavy lifting. And the robots are specifically designed to do specific jobs. So they are set up for the endurance truck. That's what they do. You can't just take any old vehicle and fling it in there. So in the interview I did with the CEO, I spoke about this with him because it was one of my biggest, not concerns, but, you know, points I wanted more clarity on. And in that interview, he explained that he expects to use the entirety of that factory. And that in itself says to me that this company is going to be worth far more than a few $1 billion. And I mean far more than a few billion. If you can look 2, 3, 4 years down the line, I mean, again, I know that it is them who put these numbers together. I think they can completely smash these numbers to pieces. The way they do things is so simple, but that is where the beauty comes from. I mean, they're not trying to reinvent anything. The bits of the truck that work, they keep the same. They reinvented the bits of the truck that didn't work. They're going to be the first to market. They're going to have time to build a loyal fan base. They already have 40,000 pre-orders. As I said, I expect 60 to 80,000 by the end of the year. It is aimed at fleets in particular. Tesla isn't. Nikola's a joke. Ford and GM, who knows what they're going to do. I couldn't be less worried about them. Rivian, again, isn't aimed at fleets. Rivian do have good trucks, though. You have to give it to them. I just think Lordstown has such, and I mean such, an advantage. They also are competitively priced. They're also going to have over-the-air updates, which, you know, is pretty much a given right now in the world of EV, but it's very important. We also spoke about autonomy, and that more than likely will be implemented. Everything that you want to see from your EV vehicles is going to be implemented. But I mean, the pro forma equity value of $1.6 billion is going to be smashed to absolute pieces once the merger happens. The company is going to have so much money to play around with, even once the factory is completely renovated. They have more pre-orders than we could have asked for. Far more than enough pre-orders to get them to where they want to be over the next year or two. I mean, again, guys, just think about it. Their production targets for the end of 2021 was 2,200 vehicles. We have 40,000 pre-orders. I mean, 90% of those pre-orders could fall through, and we would still have more than enough to get us into 2022. And I have made it quite clear that I don't think that many people are going to pull out. That is the beauty of targeting fleets as opposed to the everyday person as well, in my opinion. So their 2024 current estimated revenue is at $5.77 billion, okay? That reflects a market share of about 3.5%. For one, I think they're going to have more market share. I genuinely do. Given the amount of pre-orders we've seen come through already, and a lot of that being from fleets, I think we're going to have more market share. That also leads to a gross profit in 2024 of $1 billion. Again, look at the market cap, look at the implied equity. I mean, it's crazy. I am kicking myself so hard for not absolutely loading the boat at 1180. I genuinely don't think we are going to see as good of an opportunity as we saw with Diamond Peak Holdings going public via the SPAC. That's a bold statement, but I really don't. I still think they are absolutely amazing value. I also spoke with the CEO. They're going to have more than just this pickup truck, okay? They're going to have far more vehicles down the line. I just wanted to make this to address the fact that I definitely don't think they're overvalued. I don't think much of the growth is factored in whatsoever yet, and that should be made clear by the fact I bought more in the 24s after initially buying at 1180. Also, before this crash, there was no big pullbacks. We were up over 200% in a matter of a couple of months. And across that time span, there was only really 5% pullbacks. That was it, guys. That was crazy. Very few red days here. And then this was part of a broader EV market sell-off. A lot of it led by Jim Cramer. A lot of it led by, you know, the SEC scrutinising the way SPACs are working, and then a lot of it was also just a part of a broader market sell-off. I'm hoping it's done, and if it is done, I think we can just go straight back to growing. Once the merger goes through, I do think people will take this very seriously, and I think that if you are buying pre-merger, you are going to get in at very attractive prices. But I genuinely believe they can smash out their own expectations over the next 4 years, and if they do that, we're going to be in an amazing position. But anyway guys, just a really quick second video today. My throat is killing me. I didn't think I was going to be able to make a second one, but I did just want to address this. I know it's quicker than usual, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you want more Lordstown Motors content, I will leave a link to the interview I did with the CEO right up in the screen. Now, it was a relatively long video, loads of juicy information there. So my friends, as always, if you have watched until the end of the video, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here. I hope I was able to give you some value in regards to this company, and you know, show why I do still believe it is very undervalued from a long-term investor's point of view. I'm not setting short-term price targets. I'm not setting price targets at all. I am just hoping to have a lot of shares in these guys. And if they do somehow have another red day or two, I am going to end up buying a whole lot more, people. I mean, if I see us approach $20 a share again, ooh, baby, it is going to be exciting for my Lordstown position. I will put it that way. If you did enjoy today's video, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, drop me a comment, and subscribe if you're new around here. It really would mean a lot to me. It really does help me out. And if you are interested, please hit the first link in my description and sign up to become a Patreon. You will get full access to my private Discord server, where we have buy and sell alerts, new ticker symbols to watch, we have a Lordstown Motors chat, etc, etc. It really is an awesome community. We have over 330 patrons in there right now. We chat about stocks all day long. It genuinely is awesome. There's a lot of good value in there. And I mean, if value isn't your thing, we also have juicy memes. I mean, how I felt at closing bell today, workhorse investors this past week, Mike Orr, and then we have Barnesy91 with the memes, Thursday pre-markets, market close Friday, more workhorse shares, diversifying my portfolio. This is genuinely my favorite part of the group. I mean, the juicy memes is where it's at. But anyway, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you for another video tomorrow. Peace.